Hey everybody, Ralph Pavens here, autoimmuneanswers.com. Welcome. So today's session, let me just get this just so for you. Yeah, so, today's session, I was thinking about what I did and what drove me to do all the training and all the work I did over the last 34 years. And I think there was an underlying thing I knew I could solve, or there had to be a way to get rid of a severe anxiety condition that I had been dealing with my entire life up to that point. And I think that's what led me to all the different healers and coaches and even all the challenges that came up through my years, and the stuff that pushed me to the edge where I just kept searching, because I knew I wanted to have a way. I knew there has to be a way to solve this, because I had, as a lot of you might know if you've been watching my videos, a severe anxiety problem and a severe sweating problem. My hands sweated all the time. And it was really a shameful thing. And I thought, I don't want to be some 80-year-old guy still dealing with sweaty hands and severe anxiety and so full of a lot of fear. So as I was thinking of this session today in this video, I thought, what is true healing? What is true healing? My Qigong teacher, Ming Tong, says healing is awakening and awakening is healing. What does that even mean? And I think there was a thing that was driving me to solve the anxiety thing for myself, which I did. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But I feel like it was a challenge that was leading me down a road to really connect to whatever you want to call that source. If you want to call it awakening, if you want to call it whatever, but what's truly going on. And so today's session is I'm calling it true healing. What is that? And so did you know your body is actually doing the best it can do? And with me, I was dealing with anxiety. So even if you're dealing with a severe anxiety issue, even if you're dealing with that, we'll talk about that for today. It's doing the best it can do. And I know it sounds crazy because we're so used to hearing, that the best you can do if you have a chronic anxiety thing, the best you can do is just to calm down a bit, or learn how to quiet your mind, or just manage it a bit, take a supplement, take a drug. That's the best that you can do. And while it's important to feel better and to let go of some symptoms or to get through life, if you're just trying to relieve symptoms or a chronic pain kind of thing, it's not really going to solve it, right? And so what I'm going to do is share with you three secrets, three things, three ideas, three principles that I found that I feel are going to revolutionize the way you think of healing and what is true healing and how you can heal. And that's even a funny word to use, like who actually does the healing? The person's body does the healing. There's no practitioner, right, that can make you heal. It's an internal healing thing. And so I'm Ralph Havens, and I'm a medical intuitive, and I help people all over the world over the last 34 years recover from all sorts of things, from chronic health conditions of all sorts, chronic autoimmune conditions, mysterious conditions, and even anxiety. And it's what I did for myself many years ago. And so that's what I'm going to talk to you a little bit about, how I did it and what I feel are the three core principles of how to do this. So what's this secret way to do this, or this way to do this? And it has to do with what I call the hierarchy of protection. Now, that's kind of like, your body, kind of like if your house is burning down, you're going to take your kids, and maybe that's all you're going to take. Or you're going to take your kids and your dog, and that's all you're going to take. Hopefully you don't take too much more if the house is really burning down, your computers and your photos, and maybe you'll run out the door and see this photo of your mom or something, and you'll take that at the last minute. But you're going to take what's important, right? And you're going to leave behind all the rest, because you got to protect the important stuff. And so this hierarchy of protection idea is kind of like that. It's your body will protect the really important stuff for you, and then it'll leave a lot of the other stuff. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that. Your body has an internal wisdom, and it's using this internal wisdom to protect you right now. even if you're dealing with a chronic, severe anxiety issue or some other chronic or mysterious condition, an autoimmune condition of some sort, whatever you're dealing with, your body is doing the best it can do. And what you see is your body's version of protecting you. And it's protecting the very important stuff. Now what's the important stuff? So we're going to talk about that a little bit. So I'm going to share with you 3 ideas, 3 secrets possibly of ways that your body is protecting you, protecting the very important stuff. And I know what you're probably thinking. You've been to a lot of different health practitioners and you've studied a lot of stuff and you've run a lot of websites and a lot of email lists and you've tried all these supplements and even tried medical drugs and all sorts of stuff, but you might still be dealing with anxiety at its core. You've just been managing it somewhat. So what I'm going to do is show you a great way to get to what your body is actually protecting you from and to clear it so you can get amazing results like I did. So the first secret is your body is protecting the most important thing. And it's kind of like when I was in my late 30s, I was, one way I was dealing with my anxiety was I was running 70, 80, 90. I ran up to 130 miles in a week. And there was hardly a day that I missed. And besides that, me loving running and loving competing and all that, one thing it did for me was it helped calm me down. I even told one of my friends, the only time I feel comfortable is after I've run like 15 miles. I could finally relax. When I was 37, I got to the point where I couldn't run. I had this severe muscle spasm and I could only go about 5 minutes and then I'd have to walk home. And I was getting lots and lots of treatment, lots of stretching, lots of foot orthotics for the shoes and lots of trying to stretch it out and then trying to rest it. And it was like, I'd go out and run and 5 minutes later, I'd be walking home. So you can imagine it was beyond frustrating. And it was one of the ways that I was using to control my anxiety, but now I didn't have that. So I was backed up against the wall and I found this therapist who put her hand on my foot and said I had an artery problem. And I was like, what? So she worked for 2 hours with these very energetic techniques to shift things around my heart and my arteries. My body was protecting my arteries and that was used. So that's a very important thing. That's like that's like your kids. If your house is burning down, you take your kids. Well, if your arteries are having a problem, your body's going to do anything to protect you. And in my case, it was stopping me from running by spasming my muscles. So she worked on me for 2 hours and worked on the arteries. And then 2 days later, I went for a run and I could run. So I was like, whoa, that's cool. Now, the funny thing is, I took tons of classes since then, 110 classes over 10 years and kept going to more and more of these root causes, what my body was protecting me from. And my teeth healed. I no longer had cavities, which I'd had for lifelong, up to 37 years. And my anxiety went away. It took a little while. It took some stuff, but my anxiety went away because my body had been protecting my artery. It's kind of like if somebody could reach into your chest and scratch your arteries, that'd be kind of weird, right? But if they could scratch your arteries, that might make you nervous. That might make you anxious. And so in much the same way, if your arteries are having an issue and they're not, and they're having some problems, it could make you anxious. It could cause some anxiety. So getting to the root cause of the physical thing, what your body is protecting you from, is really key. So that's a smart body, right? To protect me from blowing out an artery. Runners die sometimes from heart problems and artery problems, heart strokes and stuff. So it's really cool that I shifted that, but a lot of other stuff shifted after that. So the second secret, the second idea is that many times, it's not just a physical thing your body's protecting you from. So the thing here is that it's kind of like a client I had years ago that came to see me with chronic headaches and neck pain and back pain. And she had had a car wreck 2 years earlier and it wasn't getting better. And I saw her and I energetically checked in with her body because I can see things. And I saw deep grief and sadness in her lungs. And it's like, oh, her body's protecting her deep grief and sadness. So I didn't ask her what it was. I don't do talk therapy like that. But I did the techniques to clear this deep grief and sadness. And then we tested her neck and her back and it was better. And she came back the second day and she said, what are you doing? Because this is actually working now. And so I told her, we were finding deep grief and sadness in her lungs, and not to worry, we were going to clear the rest of it out. And over the course of her sessions, all of her headaches and neck pain and back pain went away. And on her last session, she told me she thought the reason, what she told me partway through that was that she had lost two of her kids. Two of her kids had passed away. And I didn't ever ask her what it was all about, what happened, or any of the story of it. Terribly sad, but now you could see how somebody would be in a lot of deep grief. And she told me that she thought the reason she had the car wreck and that she had come to find me was to let go of this deep grief and sadness. And about 6 months later, I emailed her to find out, like, how are you doing? Do you need any more help? And she said, no, it's good. And she decided, her and her husband, to actually move to a really cool place. So their whole life had shifted. And so the thing about that is the deep grief, the sadness, the heart sadness, those kind of things are very important. That's like when the house is burning down, that's like taking your kids, to save them. So your body will protect you from this deep grief and sadness at all costs. It'll do anything to protect you from feeling that. And so working on the physical body, she had been to lots of people that had worked on her headaches and worked on her neck and worked on her back and tried to stretch things out. That can only, at the best, not help. But most of the time, it just makes things worse, because you try to stretch something out like that or put your knuckles into it to massage it out, and the body's going to revolt because it needs that protection. It needs that protection. But once you let go of that protection, the body can heal. So that's a very important component to look for. What is your body protecting you from? And is it a deep emotional or even spiritual pain? And there's a way to clear it. Now, the third secret is sometimes, you're doing all this physical stuff to clear deep issues, and you're doing all this mental, emotional, spiritual stuff, and it's still not getting better. And it's what happened to me back in San Diego. I couldn't run. Many years later, we were about to have Ben, 2011, and I was getting severe bone pain and also severe depression. And I was going to all these practitioners, all my energy medicine people, and nothing was helping. I was doing massive amounts of self-healing and Qigong and matrix energetics and all this mindset stuff and what's in me that's blocking my healing and all sorts of stuff, and nothing was helping. Couldn't run, severe bone pain, lots of depression. And then after about a year and a half, I found, I kept looking, and a light bulb went off, and I was like, oh, wow, San Diego put fluoride in the water a few months before all this started. So I researched that and realized, oh my goodness, my symptoms are lining up exactly with fluoride poisoning. So it's very common. Most of the country is fluoridated. And so we got filters and we got a remedy that cleared it. And 3 days later, I was back to running. So sometimes it can be like that. Sometimes it can be as simple as you're just doing something that's causing your problem, taking some sort of thing in the water or the food. One lady, there's a few ladies now that had severe ulcerative colitis. So severe bleeding and GI problems, belly problems, the constipation, diarrhea stuff. And doing lots of work, we realized they had their cell phones. They were going to bed with the cell phone practically on their body. And the Wi-Fi device is very close. So we turned all that off, and then all that went away. So we could have done lots of stuff for the supplements and lots of stuff for the diet and trying to figure out why you're not healing, and is it a mental thing, is it a spiritual thing? But if you're doing something that's physical, sometimes it can be as simple as just stopping something that you're doing that's hurting yourself. Something in the water, something in the food, something in the air, some energetic thing like EMFs. So there's many of those types of things, and finding what it is for you and stopping that can be the thing. So so that's what it is. Those are some of the things that can affect why somebody's not healing, and then clearing that can lead to true healing. Now I know what you're probably thinking. You're probably thinking it's going to take forever, right, to find these root causes, these things your body's protecting you from, and it's probably really complicated. Tons of time, tons of work, tons of money, and I do see people one-on-one, and people do see me for months and months and months, and we clear these things specifically one-on-one. But a while back, I was thinking, how can I help people in a big way to make sure we got these physical things, these deep mental, emotional, spiritual things, the physical toxins cleared, and people can get healthy, even if they can't, or they, for some reason they don't want to see me one-on-one. Maybe it's a money thing, at least a money thing for now. And even though health is one of the biggest things, right? Like, what would you pay for your health to really solve an anxiety problem, a severe anxiety problem? What would it be worth to you to really let that go and to no longer have that? I don't have sweaty hands anymore. I don't have anxiety. I can do anything I want. I can be around anybody I want. I can be me. And so how much is that worth? But I was thinking, how can I help people really get this? And so, what I realized was most people aren't teaching this whole thing and not using this whole thing. They just don't know. They have their supplement or their drug or their one meditation technique, or they think everything is a mental problem. And, and so but they just don't have the whole picture, So what I've done is I created developed a 30 sessions in 30 days. It's a program. It's an online program where I went through and I did deep, deep, deep healing work, and then met people online for 30 days and created a whole series to make sure we get through all these physical things, all these emotional, mental, spiritual things, ways to really clear this, find it and clear it for yourself, and make sure you're not putting any toxins in your body. I did all that and put it into a 4-week program. Now, it does take a little time and a little bit of money, not a lot of money. It does take a little time, and it takes a commitment to do these things, to show up every day for these video sessions and to do 30 sessions in 30 days. But I feel it's the key to get to what your body's protecting you from, so you can get your health back, so you can clear anxiety, you can get your life back. And whether you're dealing with an anxiety thing or some other chronic or mysterious health condition, an autoimmune condition, but especially an anxiety thing, well, all of it, but today I'm talking about anxiety. And you can do this. You can clear this. Now, we've seen this time-tested wisdom, and I've studied it and learned it over 34 years. We've seen this work for many different people. And yet nobody's teaching this whole program. And the reason nobody's teaching it is because maybe they want to lock you into a specific diet or specific supplement or specific medication, or keep seeing you for long-term psychotherapy type things. All that kind of stuff can be useful. But instead of teaching you this whole program, they just don't know the whole way to do this thing. What I want to do is teach you these simple, powerful truths so that you can enjoy lifelong health and be happy and have a fulfilled life. Imagine what it'd be like to let go of anxiety absolutely, to let go of it absolutely, forever. And so this is what I'm going to be doing. This is what this is all about, to empower you with the truth so you can take action and control your own destiny when it comes to your health and your healing. This gives you the roadmap to go from where you are, which is probably having tried everything, to where following some simple truths and having your plan and knowing what to do, you can create instant transformation in your health and your mind and your being. And I, as a medical intuitive healer and coach, therapist who has helped thousands of men and women over the years, 34 years, to literally get their health back, to get healthy and happy and whole. What I do is I found how to tap into your body's natural wisdom, to unlock your body's natural ability to radiate health and vitality in all areas. It's my mission to help you understand these simple truths that actually can work to transform your life and help you get what you want in life. So what I've done is created a 30 sessions in 30 days program just to help people just like you become healthy and happy and whole. And the link will be ralphhavens.com/end anxiety forever. So you can go to ralphhavens.com/end anxiety forever and register. Or later, if you're watching later, there'll be some links here. So ralphhavens.com/end anxiety forever. Go check it out. I've got actually a PDF book for you for free just by going to look at this. And then if you're interested, it'd be great for you to join the countless other men and women in our world, who are in our tribe, who are changing their life for good and getting the results they've always wanted, including ending anxiety forever. Now, I honestly don't know how long I'll keep this program exactly like this, and prices will probably go up because Jen and I are working on a big project And this is going to be included in a very big, complete training and healing program. But right now you can get it. It's not a lot of money. Go check it out and click the link, ralphhavens.com/end anxiety forever. Now, Jen and I, we're always here to help. And I can't tell you all the amazing results we've gotten from people just like you who are struggling with anxiety or some other chronic or mysterious condition. And we also have the full Enlighten Up and Get What You Want masterclass. But what I'm talking about today is the 30 sessions in 30 days. It's amazing. I hope you join us. And I can't wait to see you on the inside. So, so until then, let's get out there and live. Let's really live. ralphhavens.com/end anxiety forever. Bye now.